I don't know. He is argumentative, and you know how
But
he
I
get
feel
down.
like it's one of them people that they haven't left the city, so you can't see how it's improving because you haven't gone out and seen how other cities aren't improving.
Oh no, that doesn't relate to Maceo. Maceo moved to he's from Detroit. He moved to Houston and started a popular business. Then he moved to Arizona and did some other
Okay,
rich stuff, and then he moved back to Detroit to invest his money. And
hold on.
he's not having you know, he's facing more obstacles than he thought a black man of his stature should face. And so we have to hear that a
Gotcha.
lot.
Okay,
So
I got
that's
you.
I
what's
think
happening.
that's a
Yeah.
weird
Okay.
defeatist attitude to kind of have though, because I got family like blood family in Detroit. I got a cousin. He's a professionally trained chef. He just so happens to like just not have the best job outlook because it's not like working in New York as a professionally trained chef, but he
I
still
mean,
makes decent money doing what he does.
I mean, now Maceo still make money, but it's just he's going through a thing within himself. Like, for example, right? I built an entire hydroponic farm from somebody and essentially did a whole bunch of stuff. And then the moment they got $1 million from a white person, they stole all my ideas, took my intellectual property, and other things happened. And I hate activists sometimes because of that. I do not fuck with 501c3s. I talk shit about them all the time. Why? Because of that experience. But now that I'm not as mad about that experience, I can have more positive conversation. We got to let people go through the things that they're going through. He'll be back soon. He'll be back in his right mind soon.
But the thing I say though is,
like,
go ahead, Miss J.
it's okay. No, I can wait until you're done, Brandon. It's fine.
It was just short. Is that he had Queen. Queen was doing something, and he didn't go, how can we link up? How can we do something to fix Detroit? He was just on this sort of defeatist, sort of jaded. No, it's not what it is, because he didn't get to fix it. So now no one else can fix it. That's what I was getting. And I don't think
Right,
we
exactly.
dismissive because it's like
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like Queen is doing something. It may be not something you like, but how about, get together. If you know so much better, help her do it better then. But it didn't seem like that. It just seemed like a jaded person that lost the battle and is just like, no one, if I couldn't win, no one else is going to win.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
But honestly, when I said the thing that I said about the middle class, that's low-key how I feel about Travis. I like Travis though. I think he's cool, but that is what
I'm gonna be
that's the
honest
vibe
with
I
you.
get.
This is no, I can understand that, but I will say this. I think that I'm one of those crazy people that have done research on unclaimed territories and land in the world. And from my research, none of it exists. And unless there are some African Americans that are going to put together some odd $1 trillion to go and purchase an island and be recognized as a sovereign nation by other nations so that way they can be sovereign, I think that you got to work with what you got. That's just how I view things. I'm not trying to be a defeatist or anything like that. I
No,
just
we
kind of
gotta
feel
work
like
with what we
most people
got.
in America. You said what?
I'm agreeing with you. I'm really just ad-libbing. We gotta work with what we got.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
think
my
that
thing
most
is, at the
African
point where you don't
Americans
want to
and
move,
Wait, hold on real quick,
then
Queen. I'm
no,
sorry. Let Jay, because I shouldn't have
no,
been ad-libbing.
no. You fine. I'm gonna shut up real quick and let y'all go for it. I'm just saying. I think that most African Americans, to include other Black people in America that are outside of our ethnic group, I think most people who are here to stay. Because if you know anything about immigration, to maintain dual citizenship, you have to be in the United States for at least 6 months. That's why people typically live in two different places, because that's how dual citizenship works for the most part. The United States does require you to be here. You can't just hold citizenship here and get benefits and go live somewhere else. No. That's why most people who have dual citizenship here, they have to come back. And you're going to have to go back and forth. So, that's just how that works. So most people who are here who hold citizenship in America, and I'm not talking about the people who may have a permanent residence, a green card or whatever. I'm talking about people who are naturalized citizens or birthright citizens in addition to us. I think most of those folks are just going to be here to stay. And we have to make sure that we have a safe and comfortable place to be here in America unless something changes and we're able to be somewhere else, you know, for whatever reason. Like some people have been blessed enough to fulfill their dreams of moving back to the continent. And I think that's a great thing. But for those who are not able to do that, we just have to make sure that wherever you are, and Red said something along these lines, wherever, no matter where you are as a black person, you need to make sure you're making it a safe place for you and your people, i.e., getting into politics and doing everything you need to do. Everything you need to do.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And so pretty privilege. Could you come up? Because that's not what we were saying. We weren't being dismissive of what he was saying. The point was if you have a strong black middle class, it makes the area better for everyone. That's my premise. That's what
No,
I
I think
think.
the issue that went down with Maceo, because I was listening, but I was not necessarily near my phone. I think that when it comes to situations like that, you got one side that wants to talk about solutions, and you got another side that's right in the middle of the fire. And I think it's hard to, have those kind of conversations
How
with
you gonna
a
heal in the
cooler
fire?
head sometimes. It's difficult because I'm not going to take away from the fact that Maceo, or Maceo, I'm sorry, I feel like I say his name wrong.
Yes,
I'm not
Maceo.
going to take a Maceo. I'm not going to take away from the fact that he's dealing with what he's dealing with in his not country, Lord, in his
CIA
city.
made us baby mamas and shit, man. The CIA made us baby mamas, man. And
Here we
shit.
go.
Y'all so
What
uncreative.
in the
What?
fuck?
What
That was
y'all?
honestly the worst one I ever heard. That was so
Yeah, it
lame.
is. The CIA is. Come on, y'all. Y'all could
There was
Google
no
better
passion
insults.
behind that.
Right? It's no
But
creativity.
yeah, I think that everybody kind of got frustrated and everybody kind of made slick comments. It is what it is. But I do think that when people want to have conversations and they believe that a place is doing well, it's okay to say, okay, you know what, I'm living here. I'm telling you, it's not. But it's also okay to be open to talk about, well, how can it be better? What can we do to fix that problem? Because I do feel like it was kind of like he was shutting everybody else down and overreacting. But I do feel like slick comments were made. Not in a bad way. Everybody was being sarcastic. It is what it is, because it's kind of late and nobody wants to argue. But I just kind of feel like when this panel was open, the idea was to talk about things that would help us. And that's why I said I was okay with just kind of moving on from Detroit because he did not want to talk about that. And that was okay. We can just, if somebody doesn't feel like their city can be like fixed or whatever, then that's fine. If they don't want to talk about it, we don't have to make them talk about it. We can talk about maybe a different city.
I mean, it was all positive. Jelly gave his backstory, so now I understand his perspective a little bit more. But I would never speak positively about Detroit in his presence again.
Hold on, that's
And you know what's
I'll say
crazy? I
something.
got people in Detroit, and like, yes, there is still an issue with like, I'll say like, some mass homelessness in parts of the city. There are still some houses in certain blocks and certain neighborhoods that are still abandoned.
Yep.
But it's like overall, there's a positive outlook on Detroit. Like I got
Always.
in-laws, it's all Detroit, like all five of them. They love the city, man. They've been there their whole lives. They love it. It's like you really just gotta have you gotta love where you from in order to really want to improve it. Like you got
Exactly.
folks.
In that part.
I wish
In
folks
that
in
part.
Jackson would
And
sit there
people
and see that. They would be like, "Man, I don't,
I
man,
was
I'm moving out of Jackson, going to da 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 da." And it's like, dog,
but you
you
also have to
Queen
be involved. I be knowing
Fr-
like when people talk like how he was talking, they're not in the community. They're on the outside trying to improve the community from the outside. You can't
yeah.
do that. You have to
Because
improve the
15
community
unalivings
hilarious.
down
by being
is pretty good.
involved.
But
Right.
you,
Like it
but
is.
you,
And I promise y'all, it is very significant. Like, I am actually scared at how many of these niggas are smoking M's casually. But one
smoking
thing I
what?
have noticed is the relationship that people have with M's. Okay, we are about to go through a second crack epidemic now that we are about to also go through a job crisis with technology. A lot of people who didn't even have enough skills for the no technology jobs, y'all. And y'all know who I'm talking about. Now that we're about to go into technology being the
Wait,
main
say that
job,
again.
the people who didn't have the skills for the world that we were in before definitely don't have the skills for the AI world. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
And we are about to go through a second hard rock epidemic, but it's going to be Molly.
Oh,
And
I thought
Molly
you were
is
talking about meth.
interchangeable.
Okay,
Molly
go ahead.
is interchangeable with meth because they look similar when you crush them down and they're smoking them the same way they were smoking now. And I'm telling y'all,
Nah, cause I know what she talking about.
like,
I study criminal justice, so we get all those little bulletins and stuff. Molly's is like meth and like crack mixed together.
yeah, y'all. And a lot of niggas that I know who smoke M's, like for real, they, okay, okay, how can I put this? Because like I'm trying to explain something in the underbelly to the civilian world. The
Hold on,
thing
no, hold on.
about
Sorry. Is
the thing,
Molly new or something?
yeah, Molly is new. Molly is
Not
new.
on the West Coast.
No, but smoking M's, you missing it. It's the smoking it.
Yeah, like the Molly that we all used to is not what she's talking about. It's a
Okay.
yeah, the old school Molly, that's MDMA. That's party stuff. That's different. What this is like meth and crack put together, and then they turn the knob up like times 10. It's like
There we
when
go.
it's like when folks in Canada started doing that horse tranquilizer, and then it got across the border, and you started seeing it in places like Milwaukee and other places in the Midwest, and everybody was on that horse tranquilizer for a minute, and then they stopped. See this here ain't nothing like that.
Yeah.
It's
People
And
were
crazy.
no.
taking horse tranquilizers.
Yes.
And that was the second time, by the way, because my dad's time they did it too.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
said that was the second wave.
exactly. And so now this the thing with hard rock. Hard rock don't really unalive people like that. Do it destroy your life? Yes. They don't care about that. It don't unalive you. And so because